Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chris Scully, and I have Karla and Roxy with me, and we're coming to you live from Drive. And today we've got an interesting topic we haven't really talked about as its own topic on the show before, which is networking. And networking has a lot of benefit for everybody involved. You can build relationships, you can have people that you can count on and ask questions of and things like that. So let's talk about that a little bit. Karla, I know you've got tons of stories of shop owners and how they've helped each other and networked with each other. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of networking to the shops.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I've been working with the top 20, and that's been a major part of that is the networking. And by survey, that's one of the favorite things that people want to do at the conventions and when they go to live workshops. It's a hot topic, the topic of networking. Some of the experiences are some of the things that have been mentioned as successful is hearing things from other guys that they are going through. And like Roxy was saying earlier today, they have experienced, they realize that they're not the only ones that have those pain points. Do you want to elaborate, Roxy?
Yeah, sure. So basically what we've uncovered is a lot of the shop owners feel like their situations are unique, or maybe they are just kind of alone in the fight. They don't have someone advocating with them in their shop. And the owner-to-owner group's given them the opportunity to network with each other, to voice their opinions and what's going on in their shops in front of a variety of people. And the networking has really helped them kind of get a new understanding, new perspective, and also the ability to ask for help. A lot of people, can be prideful and maybe don't want to reach out. And this has really given them the opportunity to form friendships and community and be able to get that assistance from not only their coaches, but other shop owners.
That's great. Now, I know we've had networking in its various forms at Drive for a long time with the Expo, as Karla mentioned, top 20, even at our workshops, there's been networking. So why start a new group for this purpose?
We want to make it, maybe a little closer to what the top 20 is. Top 20 has very strict qualifications and nobody's there. A lot of people are working towards that. So we wanted to provide a similar experience, but instead of already having the qualifications, building together towards those qualifications and learning together and dealing with the problems that a top 20 person has already gone through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, and one of the things that I know from working with shop owners in the past is a lot of times they might have questions that they feel just honestly more comfortable asking another shop owner as compared to going over with the coach, or there are some things that their coach really isn't able to help them with, like, okay, well, what's the best shop management system out there, or what type of equipment should they buy, things like that are really not our territory.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they are on the ground.
Yes.
They are walking the walk, and they're in the middle of the base and the oil and the customers and fighting the customers and the employees. They're living it, which is, for having a coach, the coach has the advantage of being able to look at the situation from an exterior perspective and help guide. But it's always nice to have somebody to compare the bruises, if we want to call it that way.
Bullet wounds, whatever.
Or bullets.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the owner to owner networking meeting. That how often does it happen?
Once a month.
All right. And is it open to all shop owners, or how does it work?
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Carla.
Yes, it is open to all the shop owners. Like I said, the top 20 has their own thing. So this would be for people that don't have that opportunity. So pretty much everybody else. And the next one is actually Monday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern Time.
Okay, great. Now, let's say I'm a shop owner and I'm curious and I'm interested. Why should I come?
Because we say so? No, I'm just kidding.
I've seen that ruler in your office. Okay.
I think that I think that it is it rounds the knowledge, right? You're doing action workshops, you're doing standard workshops, you're talking to your different coaches in your team, and this adds another dimension, and it's an additional help from other people. And also, you know, as you have gone through the experience of being an owner and that kind of stuff, you also have learned and you know, have other things to contribute to the group. Maybe you went through that situation and you can help somebody with that situation that is going through at that moment. And you can go, well, I did go through that and this is what happened. And, you know, this is my suggestion. Or you can even say something like, well, if I had known, I would have done blah. You know, and it would have come out better, you know. So it's a mutual help, you know.
Great. Now I know that we've had shop owners who form relationships. They've helped each other in a lot of different ways, either through top 20 and outside of that group. And I know, Karla, you've got some stories, and let's talk about some of the benefits of connecting with other shop owners, other parts of the Drive family, in terms of long-term and things that can come up that you don't expect.
Yeah. One example very recently, and you know, the networking emphasis is care, you know, is caring for each other, making sure that people are doing well and they're improving, right? Helping each other get to the next level, right? But sometimes life happens, things happen, right? And recently, one of the shop owners got very sick, was, you know, out, and frankly, he just couldn't even think about the shop. He was not doing, and two other shop owners, you know, just took it under their belt and they just flew over there and, you know, build hours and help organize things, help actually hire a technician. You know, another one helped with marketing and stuff like that. So it helped the owner get through a difficult situation. And I frankly believe that that would not have happened without that networking, you know, and
Yeah,
that relationship.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. So the meetings that happen, are they topic driven, or are they just everybody comes on and they talk about whatever's on their mind? How does it go?
We're basically winging it. No, I'm just kidding. At this
That would be
point,
okay.
yeah. At this point, it's a combination, you know, it's a combination of like, do the guys need some help in an area? Then we do that topic, or, you know, get to know each other more. Or if somebody's having a particular situation that, you know, is pressing and they want to bring it to the group. So it's basically pretty open, but we also want to establish times where we bring a topic in that we see a lot of people having difficulty, you know. The subjects right now are marketing, always a hot subject, hiring is a super hot subject, you know. Sometimes they still have trouble figuring out owner's break even, what to include, not include, you know, and looking at different perspective on that, so that again, having a wider concept of it and getting ideas from each other.
That's great. You know, one of the things that while you were talking about that came to mind that used to occur a lot when all of our workshops were in person. You know, this is kind of part of the Wayback Machine a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, the people who'd come to workshops, they'd go out to lunch, they'd go out to dinner, they'd just hang out with each other and get to know each other personally. And so if you guys out there are wanting to get to know other shop owners personally a little bit more than you have necessarily through attending online workshops, this is a great opportunity to do that. And you should take advantage of it, because the better you make friends, the more you're able to help each other. It really is a maxim in networking and life, really.
Yeah. There's a high level of support. I'm not going to give it away, but I was speaking with one of the group members earlier today, and they were talking about another group member's birthday. And they were like, I'm not going to forget, this is their birthday and this is what I'm going to do. And I was just thinking to myself, that's so cool. And this same member on our last call kind of privately was like, you know what, I think I need some help specifically with this. Can we connect with another owner? And when we did that, that owner was so invested in the other group member. It wasn't like, oh, sure, they can come over and observe. It was like, okay, what are her pain points? What does she need us help with? Brief me so I can be ready and prepared to help them. And it's just formed these relationships, even being so new, where people are just comfortable, they're connecting, they're building a community rather than just a networking platform.
Yeah, and you know, that community is so important. And we've had that a long time with our clients and their willingness to help each other. I noticed earlier today on Facebook, I was going through the Shop Owners Networking group, and it's real clear some of the relationships that some folks have with each other. And so, you know, if you haven't taken advantage and attended the group meetings, definitely do that, because there's a lot of gain to be had by connecting to other shop owners.
Yeah.
Now,
and I want to add something to that. We don't want to, you know, in the past we've had other meetings where we do a networking kind of thing, and whoever shows up and whoever doesn't kind of a thing. And with this group, we want to build small groups that are accountable to each other, and they show every month, you know, to start building those relationships. So there's a little bit more accountability. There's a little bit more of, I understand your shop, and we're not like every time starting from scratch, but it's building up on top of what they already know, and they find more about it rather than what was your labor rate or where are you located, and you know what I mean. It's just, it starts building that better familiarity with each other's shops and circumstances.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that, because I know that you've been doing that's a pattern that you have with the top 20 group. And why is that kind of structure so important for the shop owner?
You know, accountability is a funny thing. People hate it and people love it.
It's true.
But having that accountability is like the next step in the, you know, you have an accountability to your coach, and you're gonna be at the call, and you're going to, you know, you agree to do certain things, and blah, 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 right? But having accountability to your peers takes it to a different level because you don't want to look bad in front of the other guys, and you don't want to be the guy that didn't do his homework or her homework or whatever, so it adds to that accountability. And also the ability to help each other, because if I understand your business better, then I can help you better. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things on the other network, which is great, right? But once you understand and have more data about the other business, then you have a better, more clear idea, It's interesting with top 20, we do visits every 6 months to a shop. And I tell you, I've gotten pictures. They tell me about how they do this, and they go to the back and they go upstairs and but when you really see that shop, right? It's never been like, oh yeah, that's usually it's like, oh, that's what you mean. Oh,
Yeah.
this is here, not there. You have like so being able to, we're not going to do that with this group, but just having more data about the shop and having more understanding of what they're dealing with, what area they're in, and that kind of stuff. It gives them more ability to help each other, which is really what we're trying to do, to help each other move to the next level.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long have we been doing this?
It's just been a few months.
Okay.
So it's fairly new. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. But the reason I ask, and partially for our audience out there, is that what kind of, how should I say that? Have you seen changes or results with some of the shops from where they started to just over the last few months in terms of working with each other and progress they're making, things like that?
Yeah,
you don't have to give me specifics. I just want...
Yeah, like Roxy was saying, that willingness to help and to go the extra mile, and understanding those pain points, right? And one of the guys was running into a situation with an employee, and I mean, he did get a lot of input on that issue, and it's something like he's been battling for a while, and I think he got a lot out of it. Maybe not everything that he wanted to. He was told things that probably he didn't like to hear, but it got him to not just the coach saying certain things, but other people that had been there or experienced or had somebody similar, and how did they handle it, and that kind of stuff. So,
it definitely made the wheels turn.
Mm-hmm.
It was provoking, hearing that maybe he didn't like, and maybe he didn't agree with, but that maybe made sense after all.
Yeah, I know that I've had the experience, and Karla, I know you have too, because we've talked about it a few times in the past, where sometimes a coach can say something 2 or 3 or I don't know, 25 times.
100 times.
And then they hear it from another shop owner, and for whatever reason, that's when they get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why networking among shop owners is so valuable, so important, that you should have 100 people at these meetings. It really is that beneficial.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because I've also heard wives saying that, right? Like,
right.
I've been telling you all that, and now you listen. So bring the wife too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the more the merrier. So yeah. It's another perspective. It's another, somebody can phrase it differently and somehow it clicks in,
Right.
or they just, you know, they've been in that situation, so it becomes more real to them that, oh yeah, okay, you know, he did step on the oil and fell. Maybe it's not as weird if I do something about it, you know. Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're getting close to the last few minutes of the show. What are some of the other reasons you guys, what else would you like to communicate to people about why they should come? Why they should join the group?
Roxy?
So personally, I was also discussing this with one of our owner to owner group members today, was it's a little bit of disconnect. So a chance to get away from the shop. You're not necessarily outside of the business because we do talk business, but it's almost like a little mental health break. You can vent, you can talk about what's going on. Nobody is going to judge you. There's a refreshing portion of just having people who are willing to listen and willing to give you candid feedback. So it's no one telling you exactly what you want to hear all the time. It's honest opinions. So the open forum portion, I feel, is just so beneficial to people. And it is the absolute number one reason you should come join Owner to Owner.
That's great. Now, John Starkey actually posted something that I think sums up what we've been talking about the whole show, which is, he said, drive plus a solid peer network equals financial success with less stress. And John, I couldn't have said it better myself. So everybody out there, if you're not connected up with other shop owners and you want to be, and you want to get that additional perspective that you don't get from purely talking to your coach, the owner to owner group is a great resource for you. And the whole idea is for you to help each other get to where you want to go. And it's one more tool that we're providing to you to enable you to get there and to get additional help in getting there. And like we were just talking about, sometimes that additional help is going to be hard for you to swallow. But you know what? Too bad.
It's like medicine, you know. Hey, you don't want to take it, but it's gonna help you.
Yeah, it's really true. And you know, I know, having, you know, every year we when we award masters at the expo, they all say the same thing. I wish I'd have listened to my coach sooner. I wish I'd have gotten it done faster. And this is one way that you can actually do it faster, is join the group, work with other shop owners, help each other get there faster.
Yes, I have a quote which I really like. It's from Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Go for it.
And it says, the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference, that you have lived and lived well. And I think that kind of summarizes what we're trying to do, you know, being useful, being honorable, and helping others and helping yourself.
That's great. And that's a perfect way to end this this show and this topic. We will be here next week. Bob will be here with Matt Pierce, owner of Tech Heads Automotive Repair, and Lauren, and they will be talking. Well, I am teaching a workshop in Monrovia next week. So everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and Bob will be back next week.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.